The New Jersey Center for Teaching and Learning presents Biochemistry. In this biochemistry unit, we will discuss topics on organic compounds, carbohydrates and lipids, nucleic acids and proteins, photosynthesis, cellular respiration, and ATP. Organic compounds. The elements of life. Carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, phosphorus, and sulfur make up most of the substance of life. These elements are found in the first three periods. The first three periods are the first three rows. Ions from the first four periods, including sodium, magnesium, chlorine, potassium, calcium, iron, and manganese, also participate in biochemical reactions. Chemical bonds. Chemical bonds hold atoms together in stable arrangements, forming compounds, molecules, and interactions between them. This topic is covered in the chemistry section. Types of bonds that are important in living things include covalent bonds are intramolecular, inside the molecule. There are single, double, and triple covalent bonds. And there are polar covalent bonds. Ionic bonds are electrostatic interactions between oppositely charged particles. Hydrogen bonds are intermolecular, which means between molecules, between hydrogen, oxygen, or nitrogen in a nearby molecule. Van der Waals forces and other weak attractions between molecules will not be covered here. Organic molecules. Organic molecules all contain carbon and hydrogen and are the types of molecules associated with living things. We say that life on Earth is carbon-based. Carbon atoms are special because they have 4 valence electrons and form 4 covalent bonds, allowing them to form the backbones of large, branching biological molecules. One strand of DNA could have as many as 5 times 10 to the 9th atoms. So without carbon, we would not be able to have the big molecules, and without the big molecules, we would not be able to have life. Hydrocarbons. Hydrocarbons are made up of carbon and hydrogen, hence the name hydrocarbon, and have the simplest composition of organic molecules. Fossil fuels are examples of hydrocarbons. They are formed from decaying organic matter under great pressure over hundreds of millions of years. Simple hydrocarbon fuels include propane, C3H8, and butane, C4H10. CH bonds are a great source of potential energy for our bodies and for our machines. Hydrocarbons. Hydrocarbons are made of nonpolar carbon-hydrogen groups, and so are very hydrophobic, which means water-fearing. Hydrocarbon chains are the building blocks for lipids, fats, waxes, oils, and steroids. This explains why oil and water don't mix. Water is a polar molecule, hydrocarbons are nonpolar. There's that saying, like dissolves like. Since nonpolar hydrocarbons are not like polar water molecules, they will not mix. Biological macromolecules. The large, molecular compounds that build living things are more complex than hydrocarbons. There are 4 classes of macromolecules: carbohydrates, nucleic acids, proteins, and lipids. Monomers and polymers. Proteins, complex carbohydrates, and nucleic acids are polymers. Poly means many, and mer means unit. Polymers are built from chains of monomers that are covalently bonded together. Mono means one. In this diagram, we see monomers that undergo polymerization. That means binding the monomers together to make a polymer, made up of many monomers. Polymers and monomers. Examples of polymers, or macromolecules, include proteins, which are made up of the amino acid monomers. Carbohydrates, or polysaccharides, are made up of simple sugars, or monosaccharides. And nucleic acids are made up of nucleotides. Large lipid structures are not polymers because they are clusters, not chains of monomers. Nevertheless, there are some common lipid building blocks that include hydrocarbons, fatty acids, and glycerol. Building and breaking down polymers. This diagram names some of the enzymes involved in digestion. Breaking down polymers is a part of digestion and recycling. Other enzymes catalyze the reverse reactions to build polymers, which is part of growth. A protein is broken down by proteases or peptidase enzymes into the amino acid monomers that make them up. Polysaccharides, which means many sugars, or disaccharide, which is 2 sugars, are broken down by amylases into the monosaccharides, which are just 1 sugars each. Nucleic acids are broken down by nucleases into nucleotides, and fats are broken down by fat digestion enzymes into glycerol and fatty acids, which are clusters of monomers.